All right, today we're going to make some box joints using this jig right here. So as many of you know, I have this great Incra fence here, and I love this thing. But I decided to try something different for my box finger joints on my drawers that I'm making for my kitchen cabinets. I'm going to be doing a lot of them. So the Router Table XL box joint jig was on sale at Rockler. So I picked one up and I thought, well, I'm going to try this out. Now, the nice thing is that this does 1/2 inch and 3/4, and it has 2 separate bars for that, so it can automatically do them. This Incra will do the 1/2 inch and probably will do the 3/4, but they don't really provide any templates for it, so you'd have to make up your own templates, which really is not all that hard with a 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch finger joints, because all you do is just use 3/4 inch, 3/4 inch, 3/4 inch, or 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch along the scale here. But I thought I'd give this a try. This looks like it might work a little faster, clamp everything in a little easier, and we'll see if that works. Okay, so I got this Rockler sled all together, and again, this is the XL. They have a regular size box joint sled. Now, this sled runs $120 normal price. I got it on sale. I think it was $79.99. It was 80 bucks. My opinion, this should sell for 80 bucks and go on sale for like 50 bucks. I don't think you get all that much with this, and this is definitely something that is refined. It has a lot of good qualities, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's $120 worth of good qualities, because in order to do an array of box joints, you would have to get this one and you have to get the smaller one, and by the time you're done, you're 200 some odd dollars. And Incra does sell a box joint jig similar to this for finger joints, that's very versatile. My friend has it, and I like that one, and I think that's a better price. Unfortunately, I shop at Rockler because it's the closest store to me, and because they have this, they don't sell the Incra. They just sell the fence and stuff because they don't have a Rockler fence. I'm sure once they have a Rockler fence, they probably won't sell that anymore because it competes with their product. But as far as the instructions go to assemble it, these instructions talk about how to set it up for your first cut and how to make your first cut. They just show a drawing here of the setup and how it all goes together, which is pretty easy to figure out. I mean, there's no written instructions, but it is pretty easy to figure out. A couple things that weren't included on the instructions is the fact that this back plate here, I'm not really sure what the whole purpose of that is, other than advertising, or a base for advertising, and maybe to make it worth the $120. But the only reason I knew that had to go on there is because I happen to have to look at the back side of the package here. The front side doesn't show it that much, and neither does the picture on this, and it doesn't show it in the drawing inside, so that's the only reason I knew to add that onto it. Now, when I was putting it together, there are a couple things that are kind of not as good as I think they should be, and it's just my opinion only. So, don't think that I know everything there is to know about this stuff. I think that these rails slide, this cut and the dovetail cut in here is nice because it locks this in, the slides really nice. So I think that is good. They have a 1/2 inch MDF on the back here. Now this is a throwaway piece that you're going to replace, and I will definitely be replacing it with a 3/4 inch piece because this does flex a little bit. I don't believe these are at exact 90 degrees because when I was putting these together, these pieces here had to be sort of flexed. Now that might be what they have to do in order to get it all to fit together, but it does have a tiny bit of a gap even if you hold it together. And when you put the screws in, here and coming out the bottom, I think you see me where I was gluing it in that time lapse. It does split if you don't get the pilot hole all the way in there. And even with the pilot hole, I think it was pretty close to full length of the screw, it still split. So I had to glue that back together and put that back on. So I think a 3/4 inch piece will make this work much better. The blue anodized guide pieces for the 1/2 inch and the 3/4 are nice. And I think as far as a production value, this thing might work pretty good. But like I said, I don't think it's worth the $100 or the $120. I think this should be a much cheaper piece of equipment, but it is well laminated, nicely done. I don't know, maybe I'm just cheap. So I got it together now. I think we'll try it out and see how it works, and see what I think after that. Okay, so this is the very first drawers that I made with this jig, cutting it out, using that bit too. And I have to say, it was relatively easy. It still has some adjustments I need to make. I'd like to get a little bit higher so that I have more of the pieces proud on the ends here to sand down. But you know, this is definitely going to work for a drawer. I don't have any glue in it yet because I got to make the bottom groove yet for my bottom panel of the drawer. But the joints are relatively tight. I think it's going to need a little bit of adjustment, and I think that's all just in how close and how far away I move this bit from the bar there, and that's going to make the adjustment as to how tight these joints are going to be. But as far as the results, it's relatively easy to get those results. Box joints and finger joints are relatively easy. I did do 2 pieces at a time to get them done twice as fast. The first time you're doing it, or if you were going to do it, I probably would recommend that you not quite go as fast as that. Maybe 1 piece at a time, but the fit is great. Everything works really well. It works just like the instructions said to do. You mark the tops, and you can mark the bottoms too, but I just mark the tops and the outside, and that way I can always keep them flipped the right way. And when you make your first cut, you have to flip, like when you make the A cut and you use that as a spacer. When you go to the B side of the drawer, you just have to flip that to the back to make it spaced correctly. But it goes pretty quick, so you can develop a pattern. You can develop a system to do them rather quickly. So it's not hard at all to do. So the results are good. I have no problem with the results. Now let's talk a little bit about this little device right here. Now the one thing, and let me just get this back in place here real quick. Now it's kind of funny for those of you who watched my last video right up here. You see it. Let's see, that would be right up here. You'll notice that I put this, oh, I guess you can't see that, but I put a dust chute at this end, figuring that I'm going to be going this direction with these cuts. And because I'm not, this isn't really going to work for this type of unit here, but it will work for everything else that I cut with the fence here. Now all I did was I brought this fence right up against this, and you see that on the video, and I opened it up here and had my vacuum at the end through the fence. So it sucked up a good majority between that and the fact that I have a downward spiral cut bit. Everything went down inside and out the main vacuum chute. So relatively little dust in the air. It worked out kind of nice that way. Now, as far as this goes, I like and I don't like this front piece here. It blocks everything, so sometimes it makes it hard to get those pieces in there, and you can see that. Where did I put it? On the one cut I made here, right here, you can see that there's a little bit of an extra there because I didn't quite have it on this bar there, and that's my fault. I mean, I should double check, but it does make it hard to insert it, but it does hold everything quite well. So there's a plus and a minus to that, really. So it locks everything in, and it makes it easy to work with a couple pieces at a time. So that is a nice thing about it. I found that this slides okay, not as well as I think it should. So I don't know if I can oil that up or do anything. Maybe put some graphite in it and make it slide a little easier. The handle is a plus, no doubt about that, because you can hold on the handle, hold on to the main piece, push it through. That works nice because you are taking a pretty good cut, especially if you're putting two pieces of wood together. So it does take a good sized cut. Oh, the other thing too is that when I was moving those pieces, because my head's right here, and this is just me, as I pull the piece up and then snap it down into there, I kept hitting my earmuffs. So fortunately I had them on, so it wasn't hitting the side of my face, but definitely going to have to, get used to that and not do that. But other than that, it works well. I mean, it works really good. It gets the cuts are precise. You end up with a nice fit there. Like I said, a little tighter than what I normally like them, but it's just going to take a little bit of adjustment on my part. These are the first ones to come out, and the first ones are totally usable. So, can't go wrong with that or complain about that. But yeah, I'm going to make some adjustments, fix it up a little bit, get these drawers all done. But it's a nice, fast way to get a nice, tight, solid joint here, and it generally lines it up pretty good when you have the cuts made the way that they should be made. So other than that, would I recommend this Rockler jig? I would recommend it. I think, I'd replace this piece right away. I think that this is too small of a piece to have them up there, but it does make it lighter. I could see that, they're trying to make it light, I think. The way it is, it works well. I'm still balking at the $120 regular price, $119.99 or something like that. I still balk at that a little bit, so definitely wait for it to go on sale. It does go on sale. That's one good thing is Rockler does put it on sale quite often, so it's well worth waiting for it to go on sale. But yeah, it does everything it needs to do, and now I can start putting all these drawers together. So I'll do another video on how you make the cuts and how you set up everything and line up everything. That's not quite what this video is, but I think it's a nice jig to have, and you definitely want it in any shop would want it. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please do subscribe to the channel. It really helps out. Give me a like. If you do give me a thumbs down, please let me know what I did wrong. I always answer all of the comments, so please leave a comment below. Love to hear from you and reply back. And any ideas that you may have, what your thoughts are if you own one of these, if I gave it a fair review. Anyway, thank you for watching.